Welcome to an unforgettable journey through the seven wonders of the ancient world, a collection of breathtaking creations that have captivated humanity for millennia. These wonders showcase the ingenuity, artistry, and ambition of ancient civilizations, pushing the boundaries of what was possible with the tools and knowledge of their time. Each wonder tells a story of cultural pride, architectural brilliance, and, often, mystery. While only one of these wonders still stands today, their legacy endures as symbols of human achievement and imagination. Join us as we rediscover these magnificent creations, explore the fascinating history behind them, and uncover the extraordinary facts that make them timeless marvels. 1. The Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the only ancient wonder still standing, is a masterpiece of engineering and endurance. Built around 2560 BCE for Pharaoh Khufu, it held the record as the tallest man-made structure for over 3,800 years. It was originally covered in smooth white limestone casing stones that reflected sunlight, making it shine like a jewel in the desert. While most of these casing stones are gone, the pyramid's grandeur remains awe-inspiring. The pyramid's precision is astounding. Its sides align almost perfectly with the cardinal points, and its base is a near-perfect square, with less than a 1% margin of error. Each of the 2 million limestone blocks used in its construction weighs an average of 2.5 tons, and yet they were transported, shaped, and placed with incredible accuracy without modern machinery. The Great Pyramid is part of a larger complex that includes two smaller pyramids, the Sphinx, and several temples and tombs, reflecting the sophistication of ancient Egyptian planning. Its purpose was to serve as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, but the exact method of its construction remains a mystery, fueling countless theories, from giant ramps to extraterrestrial assistance. The internal structure is just as impressive, with narrow shafts, a grand gallery, and the king's chamber made from massive granite blocks transported from over 500 miles away. The workers who built the pyramid were not slaves, as once believed, but skilled laborers who lived in nearby villages, receiving food and medical care. The pyramid's apex was capped with a golden tip, known as a pyramidion, symbolizing the rays of the sun and the pharaoh's divine connection to the gods. Over the centuries, it has endured earthquakes, looting, and weathering, yet it stands as a testament to the resilience of ancient craftsmanship. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Great Pyramid continues to attract millions of visitors annually, inspiring wonder and admiration. Standing before this colossal monument is like stepping back in time to an era of unparalleled ambition and ingenuity. 2. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, often described as a lush paradise in the desert, were said to be built by King Nebuchadnezzar II around 600 BCE to please his queen, who missed the green hills of her homeland. These gardens were a series of terraced structures filled with trees, flowers, and cascading streams, creating the illusion of a mountain bursting with life in the arid plains of Babylon, modern-day Iraq. The gardens were irrigated using an ingenious system of pulleys, screws, or aqueducts that brought water from the nearby Euphrates River to the top of the terraces. They were said to include exotic plants and trees imported from distant lands, reflecting the wealth and cultural sophistication of the Babylonian Empire. Some ancient texts describe how the terraces were supported by massive stone columns and vaulted foundations, allowing the lush greenery to flourish above ground level. Despite their fame, no definitive archaeological evidence of the gardens has been found, leading some historians to question whether they existed or if they were a poetic invention. If they did exist, the Hanging Gardens would have required advanced engineering to support the weight of soil, plants, and water on such a grand scale. The gardens were celebrated in ancient texts for their beauty and serenity, offering a stark contrast to the harsh environment of the surrounding desert. Legends suggest the gardens could be seen from miles away, their verdant terraces shimmering in the sun, making them a symbol of Babylon's power and grandeur. The story of the Hanging Gardens continues to inspire art, literature, and even modern architecture, with rooftop gardens paying homage to this ancient wonder. While their exact location and existence remain uncertain, the gardens remain a powerful symbol of human ingenuity and the pursuit of beauty. Their mystery only adds to their allure, this keeping the dream of Babylon's green paradise alive in our imaginations. Three, the Statue of Zeus at Olympia. The Statue of Zeus at Olympia, created by the renowned sculptor Phidias around 435 BCE, was an awe-inspiring tribute to the king of the Greek gods. Standing over 40 feet tall, it dominated the Temple of Zeus in Olympia. The statue depicted Zeus seated on a grand throne, holding a scepter topped with an eagle in one hand and a statue of Nike, the goddess of victory, in the other. Phidias crafted the statue using ivory for the flesh and gold panels for Zeus's robes, making it a dazzling sight that symbolized power and divinity. The throne was elaborately decorated with carvings of mythical scenes, precious stones, and ebony, adding to the statue's grandeur and artistic sophistication. The temple housing the statue was specifically designed to enhance its majesty, with an open roof allowing sunlight to illuminate Zeus, making him appear otherworldly. The statue was so revered that pilgrims from across the ancient world traveled to Olympia to witness its splendor and pay homage to the gods. Despite its fame, the statue was eventually lost, likely destroyed in a fire in Constantinople after being transported there in the 5th century CE. Roman Emperor Caligula once attempted to have the statue moved to Rome, but legend says Zeus laughed, causing the scaffolding to collapse, thwarting the effort. The statue's size was so immense that its head nearly touched the temple ceiling, prompting some to say that if Zeus stood, he would break through the roof. Phidias's workshop, where the statue was created, has been discovered near Olympia, providing insight into the tools and techniques used to craft this wonder. The statue inspired later depictions of Zeus and became a symbol of Greek artistic and religious devotion. While the statue no longer exists, its legacy lives on through ancient descriptions and its influence on Western art and culture. Number 4, the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. The Temple of Artemis, located in the ancient city of Ephesus, modern-day Turkey, was a magnificent tribute to Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and fertility. Completed around 550 BCE, it was considered one of the largest and most impressive temples of the ancient world. The temple was constructed almost entirely of marble, with its grandeur marked by 127 columns, each towering 60 feet tall, forming a double colonnade around its perimeter. Designed by the architect Chersiphron and his son Metagenes, the temple showcased advanced engineering techniques, including a raised foundation to protect it from flooding. Inside, it housed a massive statue of Artemis, adorned with gold and precious stones. The goddess was depicted as a symbol of fertility, surrounded by symbols of nature and life. The temple also served as a bustling cultural and economic hub. Merchants, pilgrims, and artisans from across the ancient world gathered here, making it a center of trade and worship. One of its most infamous moments came in 356 BCE when a man named Herostratus set fire to the temple in an attempt to gain eternal fame. His name was banned from historical records, but his act was forever associated with the temple's destruction. Following the fire, the temple was rebuilt even larger and more magnificent, with financial contributions from notable figures like Alexander the Great. Its immense size, dazzling artwork, and religious significance made it a symbol of wealth and power for Ephesus, attracting visitors from across the ancient world. The temple eventually fell into ruin during the 3rd century CE due to invasions by the Goths, earthquakes, and the spread of Christianity, which saw it as a pagan site. Archaeologists rediscovered the temple's remains in the 19th century, and some of its surviving columns were used in the construction of Istanbul's Hagia Sophia. Despite its destruction, the Temple of Artemis remains a powerful symbol of ancient Greek architecture and devotion, with its name etched in history as one of the most beautiful wonders ever built. The temple's legacy lives on in modern depictions of Artemis and in the city of Ephesus, which continues to draw visitors seeking a connection to its glorious past. The Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. The Mausoleum at Halicarnassus, built around 350 BCE, was a grand tomb for Mausolus, a Persian satrap, and his wife's sister Artemisia II. Located in present-day Bodrum, Turkey, it became so iconic that the word mausoleum is now used to describe monumental tombs. Designed by Greek architects Satyros and Pythias, the mausoleum stood about 135 feet tall and combined elements of Greek, Egyptian, and Lycian architecture, reflecting the cultural diversity of the region. The structure featured a rectangular base surrounded by 36 columns and topped with a stepped pyramid. At its apex stood a massive chariot sculpture carrying Mausolus and Artemisia. The sculptures that adorned the mausoleum were crafted by four renowned artists of the time: Scopas, Leochares, Bryaxis, and Timotheus. Their carvings depicted scenes of mythological battles, gods, and chariot races. Artemisia commissioned the mausoleum after Mausolus's death, and legend has it that she was so devoted to him that she mixed his ashes into her wine and drank it as a symbol of eternal love. The mausoleum's grandeur became a symbol of Mausolus's power and Artemisia's grief, cementing their legacy for centuries. It remained intact for over 1,000 years, but was eventually damaged by a series of earthquakes between the 12th and 15th centuries. The Knights of St. John later repurposed much of the mausoleum's stone to build Bodrum Castle, leaving only the foundations and a few fragments of sculptures. Today, some of the surviving sculptures, including parts of the chariot and friezes, are housed in the British Museum in London, offering a glimpse into its former glory. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus became a symbol of artistic and architectural innovation, influencing later funerary monuments around the world. Its legacy endures as an iconic representation of how ancient civilizations honored their leaders through monumental art and architecture. Though only ruins remain, the mausoleum's name is immortalized, reminding us of the power of memory and artistic achievement. The Colossus of Rhodes. The Colossus of Rhodes, a towering bronze statue of the sun god Helios, stood at the entrance of the harbor of Rhodes around 280 BCE. At 110 feet tall, it was one of the tallest statues of the ancient world and a symbol of unity for the Rhodians. The statue was built to celebrate Rhodes's victory over Cyprus, whose failed siege left behind materials that were repurposed for the Colossus's construction. Created by sculptor Chares of Lindos, the statue took 12 years to complete and stood atop a 50-foot marble pedestal, making it visible to ships approaching the island. The Colossus was made from bronze plates over an iron framework, with a stone core to provide stability. Its construction techniques were so advanced they influenced later statues like the Statue of Liberty. One fascinating theory suggests that the Colossus straddled the harbor entrance with ships passing between its legs, though most historians believe it stood on one side. The statue's face was said to resemble that of Helios, and it held a torch or spear, symbolizing the island's resilience and its importance as a maritime power. In 226 BCE, just 54 years after its completion, the Colossus was brought down by a massive earthquake. It lay in ruins for centuries, and its remains were eventually sold as scrap metal. Even in its fallen state, the Colossus inspired awe. Pliny the Elder described how visitors marveled at the enormous fragments of its body. The statue's destruction marked the end of its brief but impactful existence, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire art and imagination. Modern efforts to rebuild the Colossus have been proposed, with designs aimed at capturing its grandeur while incorporating modern technology. The Colossus of Rhodes remains a symbol of resilience, engineering brilliance, and the enduring human desire to commemorate triumph through monumental art. Its story, though brief, has echoed through history, inspiring countless artists and architects to dream big. The Lighthouse of Alexandria. The Lighthouse of Alexandria, also known as the Pharos of Alexandria, was a technological marvel of the ancient world. Built around 280 BCE on the small island of Pharos in Egypt, it guided sailors safely to the busy harbor of Alexandria. Standing between 330 and 400 feet tall, it was the tallest man-made structure of its time, surpassed only by the Great Pyramid of Giza. The lighthouse was constructed in 3 tiers: a square base, a cylindrical midsection, and a smaller circular top where the beacon fire burned. Its light came from a massive open flame reflected by polished bronze mirrors, which could be seen up to 30 miles away, a remarkable feat for the time. The Pharos was not only functional but also an architectural masterpiece, adorned with statues of Tritons and topped with a statue of Zeus or Poseidon. It survived for over 1,500 years, enduring earthquakes and storms, but eventually collapsed in the 14th century. Some of its remains now lie submerged in Alexandria's harbor. The lighthouse became a symbol of Alexandria's maritime power and the city's role as a hub of knowledge and commerce in the ancient world. Its design influenced lighthouses for centuries, serving as the prototype for navigation aids around the globe. The name Pharos became the root word for lighthouse in many languages, highlighting its lasting impact on maritime history. In recent years, plans have been proposed to rebuild the Pharos as a modern cultural landmark, celebrating its historical significance. The Lighthouse of Alexandria remains a shining example of human ingenuity and the enduring need to light the way for those who follow. Its brilliance may be lost to time, but its legacy continues to illuminate the imagination of the modern world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the 7 wonders of the ancient world. These awe-inspiring creations remind us of the incredible achievements of early civilizations, their dreams etched in stone, metal, and legend. Though many of these wonders have been lost to time, their stories endure, inspiring future generations to marvel at the ingenuity, artistry, and ambition of our ancestors. We hope you've been as captivated as we are by these ancient marvels. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explorations of history's greatest treasures. See you on the next adventure.